I ordered a cinnamon melt. Get to the window, get my food. It's 2 cinnamon rolls. I don't need 2 cinnamon rolls.
And Nick Sainert.
People were chucking like those little Hostess donuts. People were using their game day signs that they made as shields. It was awesome.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Sunday. This is the student section, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com, KNTK. I am Nick Sainert. With me, as always, on Sunday, Big Sky. Big Sky, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Didn't go to Garth last night, so pretty low-key Saturday watching preseason NFL football.
I will say I'm very excited that I'm able to talk. I have a little bit of a raspy voice because when Friends in Low Places was played last night, I was belting out every word.
Is that your Garth Brooks anthem, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. It was a lot of people's anthem last night. Also, it was insanely busy. I have a couple stories. This one, the communication with the security guards and stuff outside of the stadium was spotty. Basically, my tickets were you were supposed to go into gate 12, okay? So gate 12 was an insanely long line. If you guys were there, 402-464-5685, let us know what you thought of Garth last night. Send us pictures, send us all that good stuff.
Well, Rico on the text line thinks we're nerds.
That's fine.
So that's what he thinks of you going to Garth. I didn't go.
That's
to Garth,
fine. No,
so
all I'm saying is the line was extremely long, and then I asked a security guard. I was like, "Hey, can we go to gate 10? Are we able to go to gate 10? Because there's no line there. It's 7:10, and the show's supposed to start at 7." And the lady's like, "No, it's all closed off. You can't go into gate 10." So we wait there another 15 minutes. Luckily, the show did not start till about 8 o'clock. But then a police officer comes over and goes, "Hey, guys, move this line to gate 10. You can move to gate 10. And everybody was double checking that they could get to their seats in North Stadium because we were just told that gate 12 was the only option. And so the communication there was not the best, but we got in there in time. I heard that they sold out of beer. I don't know if that's true. I heard that they sold out of beer by 9:15, but it was the atmosphere in Memorial Stadium last night. I would not be shocked if there were 95,000 people there.
The crew I drove home did not get to my car again at Rodizio until 10:30, and they all said that they felt that he played longer than they expected. Are you on that train? Did he play longer than you were expecting?
Yes. Because I had talked to some people that went to his show at Arrowhead last weekend in KC, and they said he played for about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Were these people that also went in Lincoln?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe just some Garth super fans that just need
No, basically, it was friends' parents that friends that go to UNL, their parents, they're from KC, and they were talking there. And so it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then everybody freaked out when Trisha Yearwood came out. I did not know who Trisha Yearwood was.
Is that his wife?
Yeah, it must have been. I'm guessing so because they kissed. So I think so, but
I don't think it's unheard of that a performer kisses somebody who's not his wife on stage. But
really,
I don't think it's unheard of.
I'm not a big concert goer or anything, but you saw it, and I was like, oh, they must be.
Is country your scene? Are you a big country guy?
I think country concerts are my scene.
Okay, but
I'm not a country I wore black athletic shorts and a North Face T-shirt last night. I don't try to be a cowboy.
All right, on the text line 402-464-5685. Please tell me if Nick's costume or outfit for the concert was inappropriate for a country concert. Sneakers, athletic shorts, North Face T-shirt. I think it had to be boots and at least something denim.
I don't, because if you are a guy or a gal that's trying to be a cowboy, then you're kind of disrespecting true, authentic cowboys and true, authentic country people.
Whoa, just at Jake next time when he goes to the rodeo.
Yeah, I'll tell Jake that. I'm not Jake. I don't want to be Jake. I don't want to be the guy that smooches off the listeners to get a cowboy hat and cowboy boots.
Smooches?
Mooches.
There we go.
There it is.
Smooching the listeners.
He probably does that too.
Okay. All right. Let's get a little bit into sports now that we've gotten the full rundown from the Garth concert last night. I spent my day engrossed in preseason football.
Yes.
And I'm not an overreactionary guy. My roommate is that guy. If you watched a Bears game with him, because he's a huge Bears fan, you would have thought after the first quarter that Justin Fields was the biggest bust and worse than Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep.
And then after the second quarter, they're winning the Super Bowl again. So,
how much are you taking away from him being able to hit a man that's wide open across the field?
Justin Fields?
Yes.
I mean, you just want to see that he's able to operate and understands the playbook to the ability to execute in the preseason, but you can't take much away from a preseason game. And that's where I think my roommate slipped up a little bit, is he's just been taking way too much away from every single Justin Fields media opportunities. Like Twitter, he's been all over Twitter, getting updates from training camp and overreacting to Justin Fields' hype, I guess, not understanding that these reporters are trying to get you excited about Justin Fields.
Yeah, I do think I'm excited though for Justin. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Are you a Bears fan?
No.
Well,
I would call myself a Justin Fields fan. Like, I enjoyed watching him at Ohio State.
I loved the draft pick by the Bears, but I think I don't think he's a guy that's going to come in right away and win playoff games for you. I don't think it's going to be like a Mahomes or a Justin Herbert-esque start. Justin Herbert didn't win playoff games, but he did set every rookie passing record. So that's not what I'm foreseeing for Justin Fields. But he looked good in the second quarter. I think he looked like a rookie quarterback in the preseason in his first NFL appearance. So I don't think you can take much away from that. Same goes for Jordan Love, even though he's a second-year quarterback out of Utah State. He looked very good, went 13 for 17 for 122 yards and a touchdown. He had one pass to Devin Funchess that Funchess dropped. It would have been an extra 30 yards onto that total. I thought he looked comfortable in the pocket. He made a lot of throws off platform, multiple arm angles from Jordan Love, so that was encouraging as a Packers fan. He looked like Aaron Rodgers, so that was fun to see.
Does Jordan Love find the field in a regular season game this year?
I think that would require Aaron Rodgers to be hurt, so I'm going to say no.
What if Aaron Rodgers boycotts?
He's not going. He's already at camp.
Well,
and they've done everything that Aaron Rodgers wants. They brought back Cobb. They gave him an out after this season. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to is unhappy with his current status in Green Bay.
Okay, that's interesting. Here, I want to pose this question to you. Tua had, I believe it was 99 yards yesterday through the air.
Correct.
He threw a pick.
Yep.
Fields had 140 something with a touchdown pass. Obviously, small sample size. Which quarterback would you rather have?
Trey Lance.
That was not an option.
It was not an option, but Trey Lance looked really good for the 49ers, and he was my number one quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence out of the draft. Okay. So I'm on the Trey Lance train all the way.
Who starts for Chicago? Is it Justin Fields or is it Andy Dalton or Nick Foles? Like what's the plan there, do you think?
I think right now they want to do Dalton, but after the third preseason game, I think we'll have a pretty good idea of where they stand with that quarterback competition, because regardless of what they think right now, it's going to be hard to keep Justin Fields off the field if he looks good in preseason, because that fan base will be rabid for an exciting, young, dynamic quarterback like Justin Fields. My roommate's already saying it after one preseason game, after a half of play. He's saying, this is the quarterback the Bears need. This is what we've been looking for since, however long he's been alive, 21 years. This is the quarterback they've been looking for. So it's already going to be tough to keep Justin Fields off the field, but if he continues to look decent in preseason, I think it'll be impossible.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like Chicago is kind of a sleeper.
I don't think so. They looked pretty bad against the Dolphins.
Dolphins are horrible.
The Dolphins didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but Dolphins are an 8-win an 8-win team this year, though.
The Bears have very little proven production in the secondary. Eddie Jackson's coming off his worst season as a pro. Mm-hmm. They let go of Kyle Fuller, so they're running with Jalen Johnson as their number one cornerback, who's a second-year All-Pro, did not look amazing last year, did not look bad last year.
Yeah.
And then they're running with a no-name cornerback at the number 2 spot. Their other safety is unproven. They look really bad in pass coverage. They look really good in run defense. Their offensive line is really bad. Their wide receivers are unproven so far. Allen Robinson's the only known commodity there. And then at tight end, they have Jimmy Graham, who's a declining asset, and Cole Kmet, who only had 250 some yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be hesitant to call the Bears a sleeper. They have some exciting pieces, but I don't know if they're a sleeper yet. They might make the playoffs. They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
But I don't foresee them making a deep run in the playoffs if they make it.
I was asked this question earlier this week, and I want to see what your thoughts are here. And feel free to chime in on the text line, 402-464-5685. Is there more pressure on Tom Brady this year than last year?
More pressure on Tom Brady this year
to win a Super Bowl. Why? Why is there more pressure to repeat?
I don't think there's any pressure to repeat.
Then what's the pressure?
I don't think he has any pressure. I think I think this is one of the great things about Tom Brady is that he's great at creating pressure and a chip. Same thing with Michael Jordan. They just created like a chip on their shoulders, pressure that when there wasn't any, and that's why they were able to stay competitive and stay at such an elite level for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tom Brady is still carrying with him the chip that he got from getting drafted in the 6th round. He's already accomplished everything he needed to post Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He's already won a Super Bowl. He's already done it with a losing franchise. So I don't think he has anything to prove for the rest of his career. He's already had 2 or 3 Hall of Fame careers if you divide his career up in the right way. So he's already established himself as probably the greatest quarterback of all time. So I don't think there is any pressure on Tom Brady at this point. It's just house money. He's playing with house money.
Well, and something that is very difficult to do is Tampa Bay returning all of their starters as well from a Super Bowl team on offense.
There's certainly that to say about the Buccaneers, that they should win because they did it with the exact same team last year, but it's so hard to repeat in the NFL. We saw it with the Chiefs. They got right to the Super Bowl, and they just got dominated by the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So it's easier said than done, really. I mean, look at the Packers. They've made the NFC Championship game the last 2 years, and they can't get past it. They've made the NFC Championship game 4 times with Rodgers and only won 1. So that achieving at that high level in the NFL is so difficult that I don't think anyone's going to knock Tom Brady for not making it back to the Super Bowl or even the NFC Championship game.
I would agree with you to that extent. Before we switch over to Husker football, talking about fall camp, I want to throw this comment up on the Starter Heyman video stream here by Brian.
I disagree with Brian. It is
Nick's outfit was just fine.
No.
Being a fake Cowboys lame. I agree. Why would you?
You're not being a cowboy. You're just being a little country.
See, but I'm not a jeans guy. Like I don't think I own a pair of jeans.
Well, you just what are you walking around in sweats all day?
Yeah. It's sweats or athletic shorts, or I have like golf shorts and golf pants.
A golf pants or shorts would have been nice for the concert. I would have been okay with that.
But golf shorts and a polo.
Yeah, you're going to an event.
I'm not golfing.
It's a function. What are you going to wear to the 10th anniversary barbecue? This.
No. I will be wearing. I'll probably be coming from golf, so
you're gonna be dressed up. You're gonna be dressed for the occasion a little bit.
Yes. I feel like I just don't think that I should have went out and bought a pair of jeans, bought a belt buckle, bought a hat.
You should already have a pair of jeans. Everybody should have a pair of jeans.
I
don't even feel like that's like me being the fashion police. I think that's just
I'm saying
life.
like you should have a pair of jeans, but I just don't. Because even when it's 20 degrees out, I would rather wear athletic shorts or sweatpants.
I'll wear athletic shorts inside, but you need to go outside. You need to do stuff outside.
I will say after
car.
high school, I had a pair of jeans in high school. And then once I got to college, following about my freshman year, I believe, I didn't have a pair of jeans. And so you can figure out why.
I had one pair of jeans in high school, and now I have multiple pairs of jeans.
You are a jeans guy, though.
I'm a flannel guy. I like to look like I like to look like I chop down trees for a living.
And being from Montana, it fits you.
I don't have the beard to go with it, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about fall camp.
Yeah. What's your impression right now on this Husker team? We're less than 2 full weeks away. How excited from a scale of 1 to 10 are you about Husker football?
How excited am I?
Yeah.
It's always a 10 going into the season. I'm always excited for
Okay.
Husker football. Like just yesterday, I was seeing all the new jersey changes in the NFL and thinking about how, that's a college rule. And then start thinking about, just can't wait till you see those nice shiny white helmets with the red N on them going up and down the field. Just, it's one of my favorite things every year. And it's always around my birthday. My birthday is at the end of August as well. So it's always something that I can look forward to. So it's a big time. It's always when school starts. It's always when my birthday's happening. Husker football. So a lot of exciting things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the start of school is exciting because
I'm ready. I'm ready for a routine.
Yep.
Plus, at the journalism college, it doesn't feel like school because it's just all
there's
a
lot of enjoyable things to do at the journalism college.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
So I would say my excitement is a 10. My expectations are a 1 out of 10. I don't expect big things this year. And I think that's a trap that a lot of Husker fans are falling into now as we get closer to the season, as they do every season.
Oh, yeah. I'll admit, I would told myself a couple months back, Nick, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Do not get on board. Do not get excited. Do not expect big things from this team because they let you down. They've let you down in years past. But now we're 2 weeks away, and I'm pretty pumped.
Okay, so I know why I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid or bathing in the Kool-Aid as some at the ticket are. Who's bathing
in the Kool-Aid?
Jake is bathing in the Kool-Aid. What gives you so much confidence going into the college football season for the Huskers?
I think a lot of people would resort to just saying the defense. I'm going to go with the running backs and wide receivers.
What about those position groups gives you confidence?
They haven't proven anything.
Right.
I'm not delusional, guys. I understand that they haven't caught many passes. They haven't scored a ton of touchdowns. I get that. However, the improved depth that Nebraska has this year, you're hearing good things about Omar Manning actually being at practice, being a part of this team, where last year it was spotty. Like, you heard him right when he got here. Everybody was pumped about him. This big guy, this big body receiver that's actually something that Nebraska has been kind of longing for a couple years. We finally have him. He's a more athletic Quincy Enunwa. Like, he's that dude. But now, then you kind of stopped hearing about him. Throughout the season, you're like, where's Omar? Where's Omar Manning? We heard all good things about this number one junior college wide receiver in the country, Omar Manning, and why isn't he playing? Obviously, there's things out of his control, out of our control that were going on, and we all know that, but that's all in the past now. And so my whole thought on this is we know people, Big Sky, that have been at practice. They've seen him working out. I went to that open practice. People have gone to the spring game. They've seen him. He's there. He's practicing every single day. And so outside of Omar, then you have Samori Toure. And Samori Toure is now being compared to as a extremely wide receiver that can play both in the slot. What's up?
An extremely wide receiver.
Or extremely athletic, excuse me.
Okay.
Extremely athletic wide receiver that can play in the slot and on the outside. So that offers variety to your offense. Whether or not, if you put him outside, you can put Alante Brown or Will Nixon into the slot. Or vice versa. If you want to go a little more physical and bigger bodied, you can put Samori Toure in the slot and go Oliver Martin, Levi Falk on the outside. The depth, they have six or seven guys that they're going to play and rotate frequently at the wide receiver position.
Here's the thing that does not give me confidence in the wide receiver room is all those guys, with the exception of Samori Toure, were on the team last year, and we saw how they did. Are we really expecting such a major jump that they're going to be one of as good as you claim that they're going to be? Or should we have more realistic expectations for them and expect a marginal improvement and middling production? Because that's, I think, what last year warrants.
I think they're going to be good enough to make this offense a quality offense and open up the running game, and vice versa. The running game is going to be good enough to where it opens up the passing
But
game.
Again, you mentioned how no one has emerged from that group of running backs. So are we Are you hearing that no one is emerging as a true number one from that running back room, and it's because they're all so good, or it's because no one has shown flashes of being the guy, no one's stolen the job away and just taken it and run with it? Because that's what I take away from it, that no one has come out of that running back room and emerged as somebody that they can't keep off the field.
I think it's changed a little bit throughout fall camp, because I know personally for me, I was not expecting Marquise Stepp to be healthy or ready to be the starting guy. But ever since it seems like the rehab from his surgery has gone well, or the procedure that he had done on his toe, I believe, I think there's a case to be made that Marquise Stepp is going to be the number one guy at the start of the season. With Gabe Ervin behind him, you're never going to get away from the committee aspect. However, you can have it to where a guy gets the majority of the carries, but it still features that 1-2 punch.
I don't see why you're pulling confidence from a running back by committee and a group of wide receivers that is virtually running it back from a very, I guess, unnotable squad from last year.
Yes, but that's what makes an offense like Frost's offense click, is that being able to line up different guys in different packages, and being able to even if it features a Savion Morrison or a Jock Yant, like, I feel like that versatility within the running back room, where you're still having one guy that's carrying the bulk of the carries, the majority of the carries. He's your number one guy, but you're also going to see other running backs in there. Like, I feel like that's not a bad thing. However, when we saw it last year with Dedrick Mills, when you don't let a guy get into a rhythm, that's where we have a problem.
Do you have confidence that the staff will let one of these running backs get into a rhythm? Do you think that a running back by committee is going to allow a running back to get in rhythm? I feel
like this year there's reasonable expectation that they should, because we're deeper. Nebraska's deeper at that position. They're deeper at the wide receiver room. They're deeper on the offensive line. I understand, like I said, when I opened up this segment, or this conversation, I should say, I said that I understand that there's no reason for us, there's no logical or tangible evidence to give us the thought that this is what's going to happen, and that the staff is going to let these guys, run the plays that they're supposed to. Like, you know what I'm trying to say. There's no evidence from previous seasons that that's going to happen this year. This year, however, it just feels different. There's a different feel around it.
I think you're falling into the same trap that Husker fans fall into every year, and that's just, this year's different. I think we saw that last year. Hey, they're handling COVID better than everyone else in the Big Ten. This year is different. They've been training. They're ready, and we see them come out and against Ohio State, have a lot of confidence out of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin cancels the game. Oh, they didn't want to play Nebraska because Nebraska's scary. And then the season falls apart against Northwestern.
Was that the true narrative of that one, though?
I think a lot of Husker fans, it obviously was not what was actually going on. Wisconsin had issues with COVID, and that's why they did not play Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people saw that as a reason to have confidence in the squad, and then they're benching Adrian after the very next game of the season. So I think Nebraska would benefit from tempering their expectations for this Nebraska football squad.
Has Adrian benefited from getting benched?
Well, you have to say yes, because he came out and played at a very high level, minus the first half against Rutgers.
Yeah,
following the benching. So absolutely, he played better after getting benched for Luke McCaffrey.
Okay, let's do this. So when we filled in for one of the afternoon shows, we talked about record. We talked about schedule. What if you had to predict a record? What are you saying right now?
Still catching heat from my record prediction, but I will double down on 2 to 3 wins, 3-9, 2-10. I'm not confident in this Husker squad, and I'm saying 2 to 3 wins with the hope that I am incorrect. If no one will be more happy that I'm incorrect than me.
Yeah.
So if they go 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, 9-3, whatever. There will be no one more happy that they were wrong, no one more willing to admit that they were wrong than me.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to be realistic and go and say 2 to 3 wins is what I expect.
So are you saying Fordham, Buffalo, and maybe squeak out a 50-50 game?
I fully expect to go 3-0 to start the season and 9-0 to end the season.
0-9, yeah.
Oh, 0-9, yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry.
All right, interesting stuff there. We'll get to more Husker football talk. There's a lot of stuff to dive into. We might play some Scott Frost clips from Friday's press conference. More up next on the student section.
Want more Big Sky and Nick? Follow them on Twitter at Radio Big Sky and Nick_Sainer. More of the student section next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
A year ago, Daniel resolved to stop putting off what he wanted, a career in information technology. He enrolled in My Computer Career and is now a few months into his IT career. Make 2020 your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes are on campus or live online. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. mycomputercareer.edu.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Did you know that Myers Cork and Bottle is still open for walk-in business, but is now also offering citywide delivery? Learn more or place your order by calling 476-1518. And be sure to listen to Thirsty Thursday with Myers Cork and Bottle every Thursday at 4:30 on The Drive.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Dad, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
A year ago, Daniel resolved to stop putting off what he wanted, a career in information technology. He enrolled in My Computer Career and is now a few months into his IT career. Make 2020 your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes are on campus or live online. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. mycomputercareer.edu.
Now back to the student section with Big Sky and Nick Sainert.
Welcome back into the student section here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We got some clips from head coach Scott Frost during a media appearance this last week. We're looking to talk a little bit about the confidence we have in the Husker squad and some of the position groups at Nebraska.
Yeah, like you said, Big Sky, he talked on Friday, and obviously there was a little bit of news and thoughts or opinions that surfaced about Austin Allen and Travis Vokolek. The tight end room is going to be a key part in this Husker football season. A lot of people that the media has talked to, they're going to use their tight ends a lot this year. And so there's a little bit of a few question marks there in that room with Allen now being dinged or being out of practice on Thursday when the media was able to watch for 30 minutes or so. Vokolek's had been banged up a little bit, but Scott Frost was asked about those two tight ends and an update on those guys.
Yeah, we were just giving Austin a little time off. Travis has been nicked up a little bit. I'm going to report to you guys anytime we have somebody that's going to be out for season or extended amount of time. Got a bunch of guys nicked up, but we expect them back. Travis is one of those.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, Fedoni, the number one tight end in the country out of high school coming in, he's injured. We're Nebraska fans. We're not expecting him to be back until towards the middle of the season after the ACL injury. However, looking at his social media, the videos that Nebraska posts, he's able to squat 300 plus pounds right now. So he looks like the rehab's going well. Now with Austin Allen being sidelined, not really sidelined because of an injury, just because of load management, basically, and Vokolek now dinged up a little bit. How much confidence do you have in the guys that are in this tight end room? Because now they've moved Chancellor Brewington to tight end, who came in as a transfer wide receiver. You have James Carney, the true freshman from Norris. And then you have Chris Hickman, who Nebraska fans might have forgotten. He was a pretty highly touted recruit coming out of Omaha Burke with Nick Henrich. And he's just never really made as big of a contribution as Husker fans would have expected or would have hoped for.
More confidence out of the tight end room, given that Austin Allen was just out for load management. Had he actually been out for an injury that might have kept him out of games, you're obviously going to be concerned about a lack of production out of the tight end room there. And I think it's much the same with the wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, offensive line, just a lot of unproven players minus Austin Allen. So in Austin Allen, you know what you're getting. A guy who is getting looked at by NFL teams, a guy who had a kind of breakout year last year as a junior at Nebraska. So somebody that you have hope will continue his upward trajectory and can prove to NFL scouts that he's worth a high round draft pick. Mm-hmm. But I've made my feelings on this football season very clear. And so confidence in the tight end room is probably one of the top position groups behind the secondary. But again, I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the Huskers this year.
Yeah, before we move to the defensive side of the ball, Frost was also asked about the running back competition going into this season.
Yeah, it's still to be determined a little bit, but I think there's a few guys that have separated themselves a little, and what order they're going to play in and how much they're going to play, I think we'll still determine.
What we've heard in recent press conferences, talking to Lubick, talking to Ryan Held the other day as well, it sounds like they say 4 guys, but you really feel like it's 3 with Marquise Stepp, Gabe Ervin, and Savion Morrison. And then Jock Gant probably behind him. So he was actually asked about Savion Morrison here on Friday.
Yeah, Savion's a really talented kid. We try to recruit as much talent as we can, and kids come along at different times and on kind of a different schedule. say really kind of hit his stride. I'd say in the off-season program this summer, this winter, looks a lot better, looks leaner, looks faster, and he's been doing a good job. So I think he's grown up from his first year here, and he's got a chance to help us.
So there you go, Savion Morrison. Now, Big Sky, let's flip it to the other side of the football. You said secondary is your most confident position group.
Well, it's the most returning production, I would say.
Yeah, and for good reason, because you have Deontay Williams, Markel Dismuke, Cam Taylor-Britt. It sounds like Quentin Newsom's going to be lined up opposite Cam Taylor-Britt. You have guys Noah Pola-Gates, Miles Farmer coming back from injury.
Tyreek Johnson,
Yeah.
five-star transfer from Ohio State.
Yes, so for good reason. I think that's a lot of people's top position group. What is second?
I'm in confidence level or what?
Yeah. What group falls second in terms of confidence level on the defensive side of the ball?
On the defensive side of the ball, probably go with defensive line. If linebackers, I think there's a lot of unknowns given Colin Miller's injury last season and then the Honus injury this offseason. So inside linebackers an unknown. So I don't think that can be the one that you have the most confidence in. You like JoJo Domann on the outside. Can Caleb Tanner emerge? Can Nick Heinrich, as you mentioned earlier from Omaha Burke, continue to be a lockdown presence? Reimer as well, Luke Reimer in the middle there. It's a squad that's got a lot of potential, but not production, I guess.
Not proven
production.
Proven production.
I need a bigger sample size from basically everyone in that room except for JoJo Domann. So I'm going to go defensive line just because there's just, I guess, a bigger quantity of potential. Because again, not a lot of proven production out of the defensive line group, but it seems like every guy on the defensive line is someone the coaches want to talk about and try to talk about whenever they get the opportunity to.
Who's the leader? Is it a Ty Robinson? Is it a Damian Daniels? Obviously, Ben Stilley is there as well. Who's the leader in that room?
You would hope it was Ben Stilley, considering he's a 4 to 5 year guy here at Nebraska, a kid from Nebraska who's grown up as right here in the Huskers' backyard. Should know everything anyone knows about Husker football. It's got to be Ben Stilley as a leader in that group. Probably a leader on the entire team too.
Yeah, I want to go back to the linebackers now. That's the biggest question mark, like you just said. I think the main key, it sounds like they're moving Nick Henrich to the middle, to inside backer. I feel like the key for him, he's just got to stay healthy.
I think that's been the story since before he showed up at Nebraska. Is if this guy can stay healthy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big Ten. We haven't seen him stay healthy for a full season yet, but he's somebody Husker fans can be excited about because he has gotten on the field. He's shown flashes. We just need to see that over an entire season.
I want to play this clip before we move on here. Frost was asked about being able to, we've heard it all fall camp, and that this staff has been able to install the playbook sooner and has been able to throw more at the guys sooner than in previous years, which for obvious reasons, you can understand why that's beneficial. However, he had something alarming to say at the end of this clip. And here's Frost on being able to have young guys learn the playbook sooner.
They're picking it up at different levels, and most guys, have 2 or 3 plays look really good and then get confused on a play. That irritates you as a coach because you want everything to be perfectly clean. But that's just kind of the learning process for the young guys. I was frustrated today with we had a Big Ten officials out there today, and we had too many flags on the ground. That's been a point of emphasis for us all camp. Gonna go watch the tape. Most of those are with the 2s and 3s on little things, but this team needs to understand that they're good enough to be in every game if we don't do the things to beat ourselves, and that's been the thing that we've talked to them about them the most ever since the end of last season. And hope they get it. Think they do, and we'll keep working.
Should they have officials at every practice?
Every practice, I think, would be a little bit overkill.
Okay.
It's good that they're bringing these officials in during camp so they can correct these mistakes in camp. And I don't want to overreact because, again, I'm a big proponent of don't take too much away from camp. Don't take too much away from a spring game, a preseason NFL football game. that's where you want people to make mistakes. Like I said before the spring game on DP and Stevens, I want guys to make mistakes when they can fix them and it's not inconsequential.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're going out and having these penalties and they're being called by the officials that will call them when it matters, I think is really good, because now they know for sure this is what will be called a holding. This is what will be called pass interference. This is what will be called, hopefully they're not targeting in practice, but this is what will be called targeting. They're learning the rules so they can play smarter. I like that, and I'm not going to be alarmist about the fact that they're getting too many flags. That's something that Coach Schross can worry about and something he can correct, hopefully before we get to week 0 against Illinois.
Okay, that's a good explanation there. I don't think maybe every practice, like you said, maybe that's a little too much. However, I'm not saying hit the panic button, but you would really hope that they can fix them before opening day.
Well, we're still 2 weeks out from the first game of the season. This is why they bring in these officials, is to get the tape, give themselves ample time to review the tape and get it to those guys that have made those mistakes. Like some number 2 or second string offensive linemen, because Frost said it was a lot of the twos and threes.
Yeah.
You go to this kid and say, hey, we really like what you're doing in camp. You're looking good. You're physically, you're getting to where we want you to be. These are some of the things we need to clean up. And that you hope that encourages that kid, like, oh, I just need to fix this and I can get on the field, and so they just, give a little bit more effort. This is going to be one thing that I take a lot of positivity out of. I've been a negative force about this team, but I really like that quote, actually. And you said it was an alarming a little thing there at the end, but I like that they're doing that, and I think it's just something that can only benefit the team.
Like you said, like we've said here, just about a week and a half or little under 2 weeks away from the first game against Illinois. Last clip from Frost before we move on here. He talks about when they're going to prep for Illinois.
Yeah, we're going to start a little earlier. Feel like, especially with the guys that we're going to count on to play a lot this year, they're really comfortable with scheme and what we're doing. Have gotten good reps to work on technique and fundamentals, and we're going to turn our attention to first game a little earlier.
So they're getting rolling a little earlier, which you can't take any negativity from, correct?
Well, that's just going to, I mean, the only way I critique that is if I'm a coach myself, like, oh, I wouldn't do that with my guys. I'm not a coach. I can't really critique him for that. That's purely his style, purely what he wants to do. We'll see how it works out for him after the Illinois game.
Okay, perfect.
If they look prepared for Illinois, then clearly it was the right decision.
Good deal there. Good stuff there on Nebraska football. Let's tie that up, put a bow on it. Let's move on. Husker men's basketball. A former Husker has now made a team, basically. Delano Banton signed a 2-year, $2.5 million deal with the Toronto Raptors. What was your takeaway right after you saw that?
I was surprised that he got millions of dollars. I don't think anyone was expecting him to even get drafted, and then to see him go, not even as the last pick in the second round. He was, I think, 57th or 47th in the draft.
Yeah.
So it was surprising to see him get drafted and then just to sign what I would consider a lucrative contract, because $2.5 million is more than I've ever seen in my life.
I would take $2.5 million in a friendship with Drake.
Absolutely. And it's a 2-year deal. So it's a 2-year commitment from the Raptors, which I believe means they had to tap into, it's affecting their cap space. If they'd gone 1 year, there's something with like a 2-way contract that it wouldn't have gone against the Raptors salary cap as much.
Yeah.
NBA contracts are really weird, and I am not an NBA salary contract expert, but it was surprising, but it was also a positive thing, because again, this is just another thing that Fred can use in recruiting. Hey, look at this kid. A lot of people consider him not to be a perfect fit in my offense, and I was still able to get him drafted, still able to get him a 2-year deal in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's playing in the summer league, and he's playing.
Had a great block. Like, I know that doesn't, like, oh, wow, Nick, that's just a block. No, it was a pretty sweet block, number one. Then he also went out, scored 12 points, grabbed 10 boards one game. Like, this guy is actually having a decent summer league.
Yeah, and he's shooting the ball, I'd say, almost better than he did at Nebraska. I don't think he has gone sub 35% from the field. yet in summer league. So in his limited time on the court, he's making the most of it offensively and defensively, doing his most to make the Raptors big squad. But I think it's probably going to be G League to start the season.
Yeah, and that's would be just fine in my opinion if I was Delano, because I was being told by outside noise that I wasn't good enough to be drafted. So a lot of good stuff there with Delano Banton getting $2.5 million on a 2-year deal with the Toronto Raptors. I'm still jealous of him. That picture that surfaced right after he got drafted of him and I'm blanking on the other guy's name that met Drake, and they were. I'm just a Drake fan, so that's what it is.
Well, you're Delano Banton, and you're a Canadian basketball player,
Yeah.
and you get to go to Canada's NBA team. So I think that's going to be pretty cool for him anyway, kind of like the hometown kid coming back to the hometown team.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a break. One final timeout here on the student section. When we come back, we'll dip into Jake Myers of the Houston Astros and former Husker baseball player. They're kind of doing well. He had a really good night last night, and then we'll also put a bow and finish up the show next.
More of the student section next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Building a house today is completely different than it was a year ago. It's great. It's a great time to build a house.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Interest rates are fantastic. Our lot selection is fantastic. Being a large volume builder like we are, we tend to get very good discounts from our suppliers, which has been very helpful. So if you want to build right now, it's a great time to call, make an appointment, set a budget, sign a contract. You're locked in. I'm locked in. Let's figure out your location. Let's get that lot reserved. It allows you then to have some freedom and room to sell your home for a great profit. In the end, it's going to be a win-win for you.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So Planet Fitness is only $10 a month with no commitment. Pretty sweet,
That's $10 a month to be in a thumbs up emoji place. Yes, I just said thumbs up emoji. It means that you're in the judgment-free zone. That's $10 a month. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
2 Lincoln locations, just east of 27th and Folkways and 48th and Van Dorn.
Annual membership fee applies. Participating locations only. See club for details.
Just like football, hunting is one of Nebraska's great pastimes. Some of my fondest memories are being in the field hunting with my family and my dog. It's important we help pass on outdoor traditions like hunting and fishing because these activities fund conservation of our fish and wildlife. I encourage you to introduce someone new to hunting. Not only is it time well spent, but if you take a picture and share it, you can win a Sport UTV or other great prizes. Let's take them hunting. Learn more by going to outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Now back to the student section with Big Sky and Nick Sainert.
Welcome back into the student section here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tuning in on the radio, on the video stream, or just the audio stream. We've had a great show today talking about Husker football, NFL football, and Delano Banton in the NBA Summer League.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be moving over to a whole another sport. Go 3 for 3, 3 different sports, 3 different segments. We're going to be talking a little baseball. Former Husker Jake Meyers is showing out.
Yeah. Jake Meyers, so he got called up. I believe he's played 7 or 8 games for the Astros. However, he got his first hit. It was a double in Houston. Now, last night at the Los Angeles Angels, Jake Meyers hit a home run, a solo shot, and then he followed it up with a couple at-bats later with a grand slam. And so Jake Meyers, just to give you guys a refresher, he's a two-way player coming out of Nebraska. I believe he was drafted in 2017 in like the 13th round or something. Out of Omaha West Side, he is a product of the Warriors out in Omaha. And so that's another two-way player. We saw it with Schwellenbach. That's the second two-way player now that has been drafted out of Nebraska in 4 years. And obviously you can add Ryan Bolt from the outfielder from Nebraska a couple of years prior to that. He's just a center fielder though. But Jake Meyers now in the majors, it looks like he's here to stay. We saw Jackson Reitz, the catcher, who I believe was drafted in the 3rd round. Instead of coming to Nebraska, he was out of Norris. He got called up to the Nationals prior to the trade deadline, was up there. I believe he got his first hit, all that stuff. And then I think they sent him back down. And so this one, however, does not look like a move similar to that. It looks like Jake Meyers is here to stay.
Well, you look at his minor league stats leading up to his call-up. He's batting .343. That's really good. Now he's up with the big squad, 1 hit away from batting over .300. He's gotten a run every time he's gotten on base. So he's producing at a level that I think the Houston Astros are exceptionally pleased with, especially with the 13th round pick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, just to run through his stats here, we have about a minute and a half left. So he's only had 14 at-bats. He's played a couple games in center, a couple games in right, I think 1 game in left. So he's good. There's a good amount of versatility there with him, depending on what outfield position there. Some of his stats real quick before we end the show. Like I said, his first 2 home runs last night, 5 RBIs, a walk. However, 6 strikeouts, which is a little alarming, but that's something that you can control down the road. He's 4 of 14. So small sample size, obviously, but so far his defense is strong. He has got a good arm, being a former pitcher as well. And now, as long as he can get the bat going, he can be a reliable second option here behind those starting outfielders for Houston.
Just a good guy to have on the 40-man roster going into the end of the season, trying to make a playoff push. Somebody you can bring out in I guess, for a guy who needs to rest
Yeah.
And somebody who can produce at the plate and defensively is solid. So
yeah. Just a reminder, the new programming tomorrow all starts with early break at 6 a.m. Big Sky, thank you for joining me. We will talk to you on the student section next Sunday morning.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.